Hi guys, news update for you. Simon Cowell says yes to a classic Mini, but with a twist. Plus, guess where McLaren's largest new dealership is? And Suzuki hits a production milestone while the new car sales are increasing for most, but maybe not all types of cars. I'll tell you everything right after this.
A brown car guy.
So all my fellow brown car guys should instantly recognize this car. Some of you will know this as the Maruti 800. That will be in India. And then others will know it as a Suzuki Alto in Pakistan and everywhere else, in fact. Now this thing is a bit like the classic Mini in that part of the world. It was an absolute revelation in terms of getting people into cars and getting them, motorized transport, if you like, other than bikes, which is what people were using up till that point. And this thing is now something of an icon, really, in that area. And it's also responsible for Suzuki hitting that 80 million sales milestone, which was at the end of August. In fact, the Suzuki Alto is responsible for about 20% of those sales. So that's 80 million units or 80 million vehicles that Suzuki has sold since it first got into car making with this thing, which is a 1955 Suzullight. And it was actually exported from 1959. Now that original Alto actually came out in 1979, but Suzuki's first overseas production plant was in Pakistan in 1975, so a few years earlier than that. So of the 80 million that they have sold, over 50 million were actually overseas, and unsurprisingly, India actually accounted for 32.6% of that total. Suzuki now sells in 184 countries with 15 factories in 10 countries. Now, long may this plucky little brand continue to rock and roll. And Suzuki, if you're listening, please bring back the Jimny to the UK. That is the passenger Jimny, but make it a four-door and stick one of those wonderful little hybrid engines that you've got into it. I think it will still be a massive sales success for you.
Brown car guy.
So new car sales have seen the 12th month of growth, continued growth, according to the SMMT, that's the Society for Motor Manufacturers and Traders here in the UK. That means it was up 21% in September with over 272,000 units delivered. It was actually the second largest month after March earlier this year, which makes sense because March and September are the two plate changeover months. However, not everything is as it seems, because over 52% of those sales were actually to fleets. So this is basically corporate customers trying to make up for the difference after they had restricted deliveries and supplies to them in the last year and also before that as well. Which means that sales to private customers only actually grew by 5.8%. And overall registrations are still 20.6% below pre-pandemic levels. Still, the growth is good. Now, what about sales of electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids? They all continue to grow, rising about 50.9%, while hybrids, ordinary hybrids, were also up 30.7%. However, while electric cars did see their 41st month of growth, and that was actually 45,323 of them sold last month, it is also important to say that EV market share actually declined from 16.9% a year ago to 16.6% this year for that month. And again, fleet sales are responsible for a large part of the EV sales. They're rising by over 50%, while private sales actually fell by 14.3%, which is less than 1 in 10 private new car buyers opting for an EV. What's happening there? Well, we've discussed that in previous videos. There are still a lot of concerns that are causing people to just pause a little bit before, pulling the trigger on buying an EV. So let's just look at the top 10 of September, and we had the Nissan Qashqai at number 1, the Ford Puma number 2, number 3 was Kia Sportage, 4th was Ford Kuga, 5th was the MG ZS, then you had the Hyundai Tucson, Vauxhall Corsa, Volkswagen Polo, Nissan Juke, and the MG HS.
Brown car guy.
So Simon Cowell, you will know, he's the guy from Britain's Got Talent. He's the big music mogul. He's the celebrity kingmaker, but he's also very much a car guy. And some of you will remember that one time when he appeared on Top Gear as the star in a reasonably priced car, I believe he did take the lap record at that time when he went round. Now, He's well known for his collection of cars. In fact, I think I once saw him getting out of a Rolls Royce in central London. But apparently he's always hankered after a classic Mini. So David Brown Automotive, now this is the company that's not David Brown as in Aston Martin. However, the company did become famous for making the Speedback model, which I reviewed. You can see the review on this channel, which is a coach-built Aston Martin look-alike sort of car. It's actually built on the Jaguar XJR platform. Well, they also then got into restoring and remaking classic Minis. They called them the Mini Remastered. So Simon Cowell actually ordered one of these. But when David Brown announced that they were also going to be doing the electric version of those cars, so they would be the Mini eMastered, then Cowell sent his car back and said, right, convert that one as well. So he's now become the first customer, actually, of the Mini eMastered. Now this car gets a Zonic 70 electric motor, which has about 72 kilowatt hour power in terms of, or 97 brake horsepower, you could say equivalent, about 175 Newton meters of torque. It has 18.8 kilowatt hour batteries, and that gives it about 110 mile range. And Cowell said, I've never ever driven a car in my life which is remotely close to a go-kart apart from this. It's brilliant. This is the closest I've got because it is low. Now with the electric motor, you've got the immediate torque, so you have instant acceleration as soon as you hit the accelerator. That's the beauty of driving electric. That's what Simon says.
Brown Car Guy.
So McLaren has just opened its largest dealership in the world, and where else but Dubai, Habibi! It's the latest in a network of 100 locations in 40 markets, and they had a huge gala event to launch this thing with over 200 Instagram ready guests and an epic light show to really show it off. Now this thing it's a big showroom. It spans 950 square meters of floor space, and it features a vast display gallery. And also the facility also includes the McLaren Special Operations MSO studio, where customers can basically personalize their McLaren in exactly the way they want it. There's a limited number of ways that they can do that. They also took the opportunity to launch the 750S supercar there alongside the plug-in hybrid Atura as well. Now this facility will also offer the largest dedicated service center globally, capable of servicing up to 150 cars per month. Frankly, that is staggering. I mean, I don't know how many McLarens they even sell in Dubai, but I don't think it's as many as that. I mean, probably a few, and I guess with this new showroom, they're expecting to sell a bit more, but I still don't think it warrants that much amount of servicing. Unless it is that they're going to be running McLarens as Ubers and Kareem cabs.
Brown Car Guy.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these three little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.